Recently, people have been saying a lot that it's not looking good for Destiny 2. It's not looking like just a game with a lot of microtransactions. Destiny 2 at this point is the microtransaction itself.
October 13th, we'll see the return of Test to the Tower. Silver is a new currency coming to Destiny that is bought with real money. This is the introduction of microtransactions into Destiny. But I've never had a problem with cosmetic microtransactions. A lot of people will now mention the slippery slope argument. Yes, Dado, we start with shaders, emblems, emotes, but who is to say that they won't introduce materials, armor, or weapons in the future? If we see legendary guns for sale, if we see legendary marks for sale, I'm gonna be mad. If we see something like 100 motes of light for $5, I'm gonna be mad. I don't want to see power sold. I don't want to see shortcuts to power sold. Nothing. I don't want to see weapon parts, ammo synths, nothing. If Bungie does cross that line, you have my rage.
And this is all after Bungie tried so hard to take Destiny back from the evil Activision Blizzard that ruined the game. Yeah, let that sink in for a little bit of extra salt on the wound.
Guys, I hate to say it, but now may be the time to start raging. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying, no, this is not a joke video. When it comes to greedy corporate monetization practices, to us, this is really not a laughing matter.
800% value.
From a 7-year-old video Dado posted in Destiny 1 about a month after the release of The Taken King, and my God, it has aged like fine wine. Today, we'll be talking about the state of microtransactions inside of Destiny 2, because over the last several years, and increasingly this past year, we have seen a dramatic increase in monetization for anything and everything Bungie can slap behind a paywall. This includes raising prices, creating new avenues for spending, double dipping into the existing player base, and giving players blatant pay-to-win benefits. Now, here are the timestamps on the screen for each topic covered in this video. This is going to be a long one, so grab your popcorn. And one thing I ask before you leave a comment criticizing or even defending Bungie, please watch this video in its entirety. We're going to cover a lot of ground today because I want all of us here to have a full perspective on how bad microtransactions have become over the
35 minutes. I think that's a very full perspective, honestly.
The past 7 years. And maybe by the end of this video, when all Bungie schemes are on the table, you will share my concern for what this game may look like 7 years in the future.
It probably won't exist.
Now, first off, I want to set the record straight. Destiny 2 is not a free-to-play game. It's a free-to-try game. It's very important.
I didn't even actually know it's free to play or free to try. This is already news to me. Wow, they did a bad job marketing that.
We are all on the same page here because this is the most common justification for the use of microtransactions across the industry. And the biggest illusion Bungie tries to spin in their marketing. Microtransactions in real free-to-play content makes perfect sense. If you're not paying to purchase the actual software, then the developers are completely justified in generating revenue using other means. Usually, this is just in the form of cosmetic items that players purchase for digital fashion, fun, or even clout. But developers can also use more shady techniques like loot boxes, bonuses, or even additional content to persuade players to spend.
And he's showing the worst loot boxes ever known to man. This was Star Wars, I don't even remember the name. But to get max power, you needed to buy loot boxes, which literally ended up in you spending tens of thousands of bucks. And the power you got from these loot boxes wasn't anything small. No, it was significant. It was that no matter what the skill difference is, probably someone who has that power is gonna win. Great example.
More money. With that being said, Destiny, even after becoming free-to-play in 2019, has never actually been free-to-play. Matter of fact, Sweatcicle even made a video a couple weeks ago documenting the experience of a free-to-play player in Destiny, which I highly recommend giving a watch. In a nutshell, after completing the introduction quests and missions, free-to-play players can access Strikes, Crucible, Gambit, the Prophecy Dungeon, Vault of Glass, King's Fall, Open World, and Dares of Eternity. On the surface, that actually seems like a decent amount of free content, but is it actually.
It
Compared
does,
to the
yeah.
massive amount of content in Destiny, this is just a fraction of what the majority of players have access to. You don't even get a
Okay.
campaign in free-to-play. You get rituals, quests, and a couple of
Nice.
high-end activities. Let's compare this to some other free-to-play games, shall we? Starting with arguably the most popular free-to-play game, Fortnite. There are plenty of microtransactions in Fortnite, but all of them are strictly for cosmetics. Even the seasonal battle pass, which you can pay for, is earnable via just playing the game. Granted,
I will say one thing about Fortnite, by the way. Fortnite's free-to-play skin thing is not actually that great. It's actually pretty evil. This is something that no one actually talks about, but Fortnite is played by kids. And when something is extremely popular by kids, for example, Fortnite or the Prime drinking water for some stupid reason, kids who don't have access to the newest Fortnite skin get bullied in school. Yeah, that's a real thing that happens if Fortnite is popular and everyone buys the newest skin. You get bullied for not buying it. So these free-to-play things are actually very, very evil.
that would take a while. The free version of the Battle Pass gives you V-Bucks that you can save up to buy the paid version. And as long as you play enough to complete the Battle Pass each season, you can earn enough to repurchase it again next season. 100%
Nice.
completely free. There's even some currency left over you can choose to save or even spend in the shop if you want to buy some cosmetics. Next up, we have Warframe. Yes, I know comparing Destiny and Warframe is kind of a touchy subject, but Warframe is also a free-to-play game. The 9-week Battle Pass is completely free. The updates are free, and you can earn the paid currency in the game's player-driven market. So it too is essentially free. Now these are just two prime examples, and I could dive into more, but I think you get the point. These games grant you access to all the actual gameplay content for free. In Destiny, you get maybe 10% of the content for free, which means this is not exactly free to play. That's a free
Nice.
trial. Destiny is by no means the first to do it though. Remember the light versions of apps back in the early days of iPhone? Every major game had a free light version, essentially a demo. Angry Birds Lite, Minecraft Lite, Light Bike Lite. I don't have a problem with free trials,
Wow.
but free trial and free to play have been commingled so much that players can't differentiate between the two. Another common trait of free trials is that they're full of ads. As a new light player, the number of
Nice.
pop-ups you receive in game telling you to buy more content is ludicrous. Don't be fooled. Bungie offers a free trial of Destiny 2, and if you want to play
I think if he's complaining about that, he has not even tried to play Diablo Immortal, okay? Every 6 seconds you pretty much get an ad that tells you, go to the store and buy something. Admittedly old example, but still top tier example.
the full version, you have to pay money. Lots and lots of money.
Sweet, sweet money, that's true! Confusion.
Now, Destiny 2 has a lot of paid content, but quite
Wow.
frankly, it's confusing as hell. You got the Lightfall plus Annual Pass, or Lightfall by itself, the Legacy Collection, which includes Witch Queen, Beyond Light, and Shadowkeep, the 30th Anniversary Pack, Witch Queen, Beyond Light separately, as well as Shadowkeep separately, the Forsaken Pack, and the Armory Collection, which includes both Forsaken and the 30th Anniversary Pack. There's so many different bundles for old content.
Do you, though, need them?
But quite frankly, this is absurd. I have so many people that come into the stream that ask, which one do I buy? And quite frankly, how in the hell is someone new to the game supposed to navigate all of this? Now here's a novel
Good
idea.
question.
Why don't Bungie just bundle everything? Literally, just the everything bundle. All content through the Year of Lightfall, or the Lightfall plus Annual Pass, or the Legacy Content Bundle, which includes all those old things that tends to confuse the piss out of everyone. Now, if you need to itemize old expansions for players who want to purchase a single piece of content, that's fine. But even this list is already so much simpler than what Bungie already offers. Then you may be asking, why does this not exist already? Spoiler alert,
Money.
there's no singular bundle for all of old Destiny content because Bungie refuses to improve the new player experience for the sake of decreased revenue. If they care more about the player base than the extra cash, they would bundle all the old content under one single legacy content bundle instead of nickel and diming new players. Now, why is the Forsaken Pack
Oh, wow, that would be a huge difference in money. Nah, they're not doing it. Bungie knows one thing, that currently they don't get a lot of new players because the game's old. Everyone knows what Destiny is all about, more or less. So they kind of need to nickel and dime the people who are already playing the game, because those people are playing the game an unhealthy amount of time, and the more nickel and diming you get on these people is the best. And the only new people that are coming into the game are people who are going to play it like for 20-ish plus hours, you know, a couple of days essentially. And then they're going to be like, right, this is my game. time to buy, time to do the things, and they're gonna buy all of that content. Because it's either, at this point, it's most likely either a new player comes into the game, plays for 30 minutes, garbage, delete, uninstall, never again, or they play for a couple of hours and they're like, okay, let me just spend $400 on all of these expansions, you know? $400! That's like... How many is that, actually? Eight shares of Coca-Cola? Wow. Okay, now let me just buy these pixels.
A bundle containing a raid, a dungeon, and some exotic weapons and armor still even a thing. It also used to contain 9 supers for each light subclass as well. And those were added into free-to-play because locking supers behind paywalls was stupid. And what remains is what new players are still paying for. Now, why was the 30th anniversary update even a separate paid add-on in the first place? Remember when Bungie updated the game with cool content for free? Some new players might not remember, but the April update in Destiny 1 was a free update to the game that increased light level, added a new story mission, quests, revamps of old strikes, updates to the Prison of Elders, chroma gear for custom armor glows, a new taken set of armor.
Now, my guess, this happened while the game was still very much alive, and a lot of people played it.
Prize exotics and legendary weapons. All of this for free. It was like a mini expansion that we got as a gift from Bungie. Fast forward a year ago, if you didn't pre-order the deluxe edition of Witch Queen, you had to dish out $25 to get access to things like the Grasp of Avarice dungeon, Galahorn, and a bunch of cosmetics. Yes, there were parts of this update that were free, like Dares of Eternity, which is a completely new activity, and I understand that a lot of developer work went into creating these. But I bring this up to draw a comparison of how things used to be 7 years ago. The reality is, if the 30th anniversary update was released in Destiny 1, we would have received it completely free.
Dungeon keys.
Now, the 30th anniversary update was also the tipping point that introduced Dungeon Keys to Destiny 2. These have got to be one of the most divisive double-dipping additions to the game ever made. For those of you who don't know, Dungeon Keys were added in the Witch Queen. Bungie releases 2 dungeons each year, and if you don't buy the deluxe edition, that being the expansion plus annual pass, you also have to buy these separately. Both dungeons are sold together for 2,000 silver. This is Bungie's in-game currency, which equates to $20. No longer are dungeons included in seasonal content, which made a lot of us scratch our heads asking, what the hell, Bungie? This only makes paying for content more confusing. And we know it to be a fact from first-hand experience. One of our part-time editors bought Season of the Deep to play the dungeon and didn't realize Ghost of the Deep was not included in Season of the Deep, meaning he had to go buy the dungeon key after buying the season to play what he actually wanted to play. If one of us can make that mistake, how much easier is it for a new player who has never played Destiny to make that mistake as well? The title for the dungeon trailer on YouTube even suggests that it's included with the Season of the Deep. You will only find out otherwise if you read through Bungie's website, or visit the activity directly, or visit the last page in the Eververse store, which we know a decent portion of new players will not know how to do.
Probably. Season price. It probably just goes up.
So dungeons no longer ship alongside seasonal content. Surely the price of seasons deserve to be lower, right? No. Bungie raised the price of seasonal content. If you want to buy a season by itself, it used to cost only $10.
Yo, as the player base just gets smaller and smaller and smaller for this game, they're just gonna continue doing this because they have already made the calculations. New people are not coming. Introduce waifus. Make the traveler into a hot girl. There we go. I literally saved Destiny 2. Give me half the profit, though.
Dollars. And honestly, for 6 weeks of story, some cool cutscenes, access to the multiplayer activities and new gear, I would have argued that it was a great deal. But then, Bungie increased the price. And you know what? Fair enough. Adjust for inflation, gotta put food on the table. Sure. Bungie announced in a tweet they were increasing the price of seasons from 1,000 silver to 1,200 silver, which puts us at $10 a season to now $12 per season. Or does it? You see, when you buy silver, Bungie gives you a little extra for each purchase.
Obviously,
the bigger the purchase,
a classic.
the more extra you get. So when you buy
Obviously.
$10 worth of silver, that being 1,000, you actually get 1,100 silver. That's so generous of them. Funny how that works too, because that's just short of the amount needed to buy a new expansion. So to buy an individual season, you need to purchase $15 worth of silver, not 12. Meaning Bungie actually raised the price by $5 because you can't buy seasons with real money. You have to buy them with Bungie's tokens. They're fake money. Now I'm surprised.
Wait. Bungie's a bunch of idiots if they're doing this like that. He should have mentioned that. Well, if you buy the thing for $10, you don't actually get enough to unlock the thing, and then you need to buy the next big one, which is 20. And then you have like 900 silver left over, and now you can spend like $5, and then you can buy something more. You need to do it like that, Bungie, not like let's just make it fair. Let's make it so they can just buy what they want. But that's not how you do it, Bungie. What are you doing?
Considering how close
you're
the
losing
Steam store is
money
already with expansions, which by the way you can buy with real money, why not just add each season there too? Make an annual season pack. Hell, folks are already confused. You might as well add it. Something tells me we won't ever see a $12 silver purchase option anytime soon. Luckily, Bungie added the $15 option right before Season of the Deep, and even created a $100 silver purchase option too. So if you want to bankroll their pockets even more, that's a lot easier for you. And guess what? You thought a $5 increase was bad? Let's take a trip down to the Microsoft and Epic Game Store, where there is no $15 silver option. The next highest is $20. You're now paying money double the price for a season. Guys, that's just borderline evil.
Good, that's how you milk
players who use these platforms are not completely screwed. Bungie does offer a $15 seasonal silver bundle as well, but not only is it separate from the other silver purchase options, it also doesn't advertise how much silver it gives. You actually have to click into it to see how much silver you are buying. But hey, it comes with a free emote. Am I right? I do want to be clear. I'm not against silver existing or people buying silver. I've bought plenty of silver. I'll even meet Bungie halfway. I'm not against paying $12 for a season, but it's these shady, scummy, underhanded tactics that Bungie keeps using that pisses me off. Bungie, if you're gonna raise the price of a season to $15, at least have the balls to just tell us straight. I shouldn't need to perform mental gymnastics to decipher a change in pricing structure like it's a day one raid encounter. It's not the price increase that rubs me wrong. It's how Bungie intentionally designed it to cipher.
Odd raid encounters actually hard in Destiny. I'm not 100% sure, but how many mechanics can you add to a game like Destiny? You know, it's like probably stand in the shield, stand out of the shield, hit the glowy red spot. Avoid this, destroy that. How hard can these encounters honestly be? How many encounters are already recycled?
And more money while deceiving the community into thinking it was less.
Nice though. Events.
Alright, this whole video has been pretty tame up until now. That's all going to change when we talk about seasonal events and event cards. Event cards are the singular worst paid item ever added to Destiny. Last year, Bungie had the idea to add event cards to Destiny. These are filled with event challenges that grant you materials, event cosmetics, weapons, etc. This card was introduced as Bungie's solution to simplify in-game events, making it easier for players to reference what they needed to do to earn more rewards and complete.
It's always all for the good of the player. Every microtransaction, everything you don't like is for the good of you. Never make that mistake that it's not. They're always thinking of you, obviously.
The event title. Their solution? Plaster a giant pay to unlock button on the front of the event card to earn more rewards.
Obviously.
You heard me right? You have to pay 1,000 silver, $10, for the privilege of completing challenges so you can earn these extra rewards. It's essentially a mini battle pass that is already inside of a seasonal battle pass model. If you don't complete the challenges, you don't get any rewards. And even worse, players often don't know that it only gives you 4 cosmetics. All the others on the card are free. This microtransaction is positioned strategically where all players interact with event challenges, because if you don't buy it immediately, Bungie wants you to stare at it for 3 weeks while you finish all your other challenges, slowly seducing you to part with $10 for a couple extra cosmetics. But Cross, costs. It's only cosmetics. What's the big deal? That is the big deal. Events in Destiny 2 are only about cosmetics, and over 90% of the cosmetics you have to pay for.
Fair
Surprise!
point.
Just like dungeons, seasonal events are not included in your seasonal pass purchase. You want to know why everyone thinks events are boring? It's because they are rehashed every year, and they revolve around spending money. Every new armor set, $10. New emotes, $10. Ghost shells, ghost projections, finishers, the list goes on. Money, money, money. It's so bad that Festival of the Lost has eternally been dubbed Festival of the Costs. Why would I want to participate in events where I get one gun and have nothing else meaningful to work towards? Normally, I have zero problem with paying for cosmetics because cosmetics are just the extra cherry on top. I already pay for my content, and if I want to spend a little more, that's my choice. The problem with events is the cosmetics are the content. It's all over the marketing. It's in the silver shop. It's on my event challenge.
What is it,
Events became unfun a long time ago because the content came second to the cosmetics. Yes, it is possible for cosmetic microtransactions to ruin video games. Just look at Halo Infinite. Part of the reason why it was received so poorly, beside the lack of co-op and mediocre campaign, was because all avenues of customization were locked behind paywalls. This was always one of Halo's greatest strengths. The Master Chief Collection on Steam still has free live service seasonal content. You purchase the game once, get to play some of the best games ever made by Bungie and 343, and visual progression is alive and well, unhindered by microtransaction hell. Best $40 I've ever spent. Even less when it goes on sale. Events have become just another way, though, to squeeze more money and double dip into the player base in preparation for the next season, and it just keeps getting worse. Is Bungie in the more wrong for promoting more cosmetics during an event? No. Do I have the right to call events in Destiny boring and being mid as hell? Because there is little to no loot tied to them that you can actually earn. Yes, we do have that right. And because events are quote-unquote free.
Okay, the event thing is a little bit like, honestly, who cares, okay, you know?
Free to all players, there is zero monetary incentive for Bungie to spend time on anything more than creating the most attractive Destiny shopping mall for 3 weeks. I would love for Bungie to prove me wrong on this one, because I like the idea of events. They're supposed to be fun, but there's nothing fun to do during those 3 weeks unless you like spending more money. The way you fix events in Destiny is by investing in the player experience. Supremacy during Guardian games is a great first step, but that existed as a base game mode in Destiny 1. So we really can't give brownie points here for something Bungie gave back to us from 6 years ago. Provide players who don't want to spend money, meaningful gameplay or rewards for their time, and then we'll revisit this topic.
Okay. Eververse.
Now this next gripe is more of a PSA. Do I have anything against paid cosmetics existing in Destiny? No. However, I don't know if you've been paying attention, but the cost for everything in Eververse store is insane. $15 per armor sets. Exotic emotes can get as high as $12 each. Exotic ornaments, $6 each. And this all adds up very quickly.
I mean, this is not the first game that does it. I think the majority of games actually now have like these stupid type of do a whatever emote, and you know that costs like $200 trillion, and you know the rest of your lineage is sent into slavery type of deal. Yeah, they're all the same. I don't think something like this is egregious.
Especially if you want to get one thing per character. The most recent price hike we've seen has been the collaboration armor sets. These started with the Epic Games collab during Season of the Plunder and have stayed consistent with every collab since. Assassin's Creed, PlayStation, all of these armor sets cost 2,000 silver each. That's $20 for one set of armor. All of Destiny 1's, DLCs included, was on sale for just $20 just a few weeks ago. There's
I'm not gonna say that honestly surprises me, because it doesn't. I mean, there are so many games that do it the exact same way. Like, a skin is more valuable than technically buying the game in full on its own. It's absolutely ludicrous. But you know what's always the same for these situations where these skins are so absolutely out of this world expensive? It's the fact that the games are dying in shit. Now, I don't know if Destiny 2 is shit, but I have seen the video where you do the introduction, and then everything you get taught in the introduction is meaningless because you don't understand. Dude, like, the new player experience for Destiny is so anti-player. it should receive some kind of award, honestly, for how bad it is. Like EA openly trying to milk someone in front of everyone and trying to create the worst experience ever is probably not even close to how bad the new player experience for Destiny is, unless you are a veteran of the game.
There's no universe where you can convince me that 3 armor sets cost $60 total, one for each class, by the way, and somehow that is worth the same price as a AAA game. Now, will people buy them? Obviously, yes. Will Bungie make lots of money? Yeah. Are we getting ripped off? You damn right. This isn't just Bungie doing this stuff. This is basically industry standard. In-game cosmetics are beyond expensive. It's your money, so spend it how you deem fit. But I figured while we're on the subject, I should make you doubly aware that everything in Eververse is very expensive and, dare I say, dramatically overpriced.
Obviously, yeah. It makes sense. Manipulation. And look at that, they have credit cards and things already out. Wow, nice.
Now, Bungie is constantly devising methods to make you spend more money in-game, whether you're a hardcore player or even free-to-play. The constant scheming never ends. In addition to everything we've previously mentioned, this season, Bungie added an Eververse recommended tab to the store, so you can find offers made just for you more easily. Earlier this year, Bungie added the ability to purchase weapon ornaments on actual weapons in-game. Now, I will admit, this is convenient if you want to view what your flashy exotic would look like with the new paint job. But this is also an obvious play to reduce the distance between the player and the purchase button. You cannot preview armor ornaments with shaders before you buy them.
Is that like armor ornaments power or not? I think it's not, but I honestly didn't understand.
You have to purchase the armor, then you can see if that matches your look. If any of you remember, shaders used to cost 40 bright dust from Eververse. And if you're unfamiliar with bright dust, it's an in-game currency that you can't buy. Which you can only spend on specific items in the Eververse store. It's designed to keep players engaged with the store, even if they haven't spent any money, in the hopes that they will spend money in the future. Anyway, Bungie raised the price of shaders from 40 to 300 bright dust. Solely because they wanted to. Just another sink for bright dust.
They literally saw that that's the most popular thing that the currency is being used for, and they understand, wait a minute, this is the cheapest thing and it's the most popular. They're never gonna run out of this this free-to-play currency. We need to up the ante, otherwise they will never actually buy that for money. It's such an easy 2+2.
So you have less free money for armor, emotes, or anything else you want to buy. And they've also started locking shaders behind paid bundles too. And normally shaders would be frequently available for bright dust at the beginning of each season. Guys, it has been barely 3 weeks since the Season of the Deep launch at the time of this video, and no new shaders have been sold. Now, if you like those projections, don't take offense to what I'm about to say, but I'm of the opinion that these cosmetics solely exist to inflate the Bright Ingram loophole. You could also make the argument but this is why Bungie makes so many cosmetics to begin with. Every new season, there are at least 9 new ships, sparrows, and ghosts. These are all sold in the Eververse store each season, but a majority of players will never see or want them. I wish I could tell you how many emotes and ghost projections exist in the game as of this moment, but Bungie does not put these items in player collections. Maybe someone with access to the API might know, but your average player has no clue. Inflating the Bright Ingram loophole means every time you level up enough to earn a Bright Ingram, you have to turn it in at the Eververse store and you get nothing of value, further encouraging players to spend to acquire coveted cosmetics. Now,
yeah, makes sense.
When you visit Shawhan to pick up your first quests and bounties, you are greeted with an exotic in his inventory, except you can't collect this exotic. It's a short quest that you can only pick up after buying the most recent expansion. This year, it's Arbalest and requires you to buy Linefall. Last year, it was Sweet Business and required you to buy the Witch Queen. No idea if Bungie removes these weapons from the loot pool for new lights or just pretends like they are part of the new expansion content, even though both of these weapons clearly belong in free-to-play given their age. Either way, shame on you, Bungie. Not only is this baiting players,
why they're never obviously gonna put good items in free-to-play. That's just like a given.
Who haven't even played the game yet to spend money on an expansion, but you're doing it with content that has no business being tied to these new expansions.
Pay to win. Oh no, this is a big boy section. Nice.
Now, what if I told you Destiny has now approached pay to win? Now, some of
Not
you may
surprised.
say that will never happen. Others of you may say it happened
Delusions.
a long time ago. However, this season, definitively without a shadow of a doubt, has now pushed Destiny 2 into pay to win territory. Let me explain. In the past, we've brought up issues like character boosting. Essentially, you can pay $20 to skip the Destiny campaign and start unlocking your subclass and getting a head start on other content.
I mean, that's... I mean, on the most technical level, things like that are... Yes, you buy power, your character is stronger if you buy it, but that's just, you know, that's just like, okay, I don't want to grind or I don't want to do anything. It's still predatory. It's still definitely power buying, but for that is kind of the weakest example ever, but it leads to bigger things, so I'm not defending it.
I would make the argument that this is pay to win. In fact, we have made that argument in the past, and at the time, it was a pretty controversial subject. Another hot topic is expansion pre-order early exotic access. If you bought the Lightfall
that's
Deluxe Edition
definitely
early,
pay
you
to
unlocked
win.
Quicksilver Storm months before the Lightfall expansion was even released. People who bought the base version of Lightfall had to wait until Season the Deep to use this exotic, which is literally over half a year total in waiting. Now, we thought that the weapon was pretty good.
And I have not, this is the first time I hear it. This is so blatantly anti-consumer, pay to win, and just bending all the player base over. Why have you Destiny playing losers not boycotted the game over this? Like, oh my, you can't make this up. You need half a year.
Good in PvP. We called it pay to win. More people agree,
Yeah.
but yet again, controversial. The problem is, many people are reluctant to call Destiny a pay to win game. This hesitancy stems from one question. What is considered winning in Destiny? If you don't know,
No, this is completely false. I can tell you why people are not willing to call Destiny pay to win. It's because these people are veteran players. They don't want to diminish their achievements by saying, "Oh, I play a pay to win game. Did you spend money on it?" Yeah. Their achievements all get diminished the moment they agree that the game is pay to win. So these things they don't work out. Obviously, they're not gonna call the game pay to win. You're gonna have to blatantly convince them.
what winning even means, then can you even win in Destiny? Let's try and break it down. What
Of
if
course.
we classify winning in Destiny
There's
as achieving
PvP.
certain in-game goals? Going flawless, completing a dungeon, raid, or nightfall. All of these could be considered winning because they are difficult challenges, and they reward the players who complete them with great loot. Actually, I believe we just found our answer. Winning in Destiny 2 means getting great loot, whether it's armor or weapons.
Sure,
Great
why
loot
not?
is the reason why people play this game. Strip everything else away, at its core, people play Destiny so they can earn loot and use that loot to complete harder content or enhance the content they already play, earning more great loot in the process. Owning better loot objectively gives you an advantage over other players in game. Need I mention the Immortal and
Obviously.
Trials of Osiris or Gallahorn at multiple points in Destiny's sandbox?
Nice.
That's why it's called a looter shooter. Loot isn't everything Destiny has to offer, but it affects every aspect of the gameplay experience. With that in mind, we can now assign a definition of pay to win in Destiny 2. Destiny 2 is pay to win when an unfair
I mean, there's no reason to assign a definition even to this. He's just doing that because I don't think there's any other way to even convince a Destiny 2 veteran that the game is bad or, you know, there's something wrong with it, probably.
advantage in obtaining great loot is only accessible to players who spend more money than what is essential to play Destiny 2. If you have a better definition, I would love to read your suggestions in the comments below. But as of this moment, I believe this statement encapsulates pay to win in the context of Destiny 2 or any looter shooter quite well. All right, Cross, we get it. What's your point? Over the years, Bungie has been inching closer and closer to this pay to win line. And as of Season 21, Season the Deep, they finally crossed it. Bungie opened the floodgates and are now allowing people to buy max rank for the entire season pass on day 1 of the new season. And you may be thinking, really, Cross? The season pass is not even pay to win. Is that right? Let's take a look, shall we? What does the Destiny season pass actually contain? Emotes? Shaders? Ornaments? What about XP bonuses? In-game materials? More weapon drops? Yeah, you can get those. Progression boosts? Season passes got them, fellas. Exotics? God roll legendary weapons? Every
God
single
rolled?
one of those is available from the season pass.
God, bro. Sign me up. Where do I insert my credit card? Like, wow, I want to play this game
every single one of
suddenly.
these you can buy immediately for $100
Yo.
at the beginning of a season. It didn't always used to be this way. Years ago, you couldn't even buy levels in the season pass. But then in Season the Undying, Bungie had a change of heart. You can now buy them, but it has to be at the end of the season. Bungie called it a catch-up mechanic, so no one would miss out if life got in the way. And it was from that moment the downward spiral began.
No.
Soon it was available to be purchased halfway through the season, then 3 weeks into the season. Now years later, it's available day 1 of a new season. Quite the catch-up mechanic. You only have 3 months to complete the season pass. Better buy the ranks now before they're gone. Good news,
Makes
the bundle
sense.
Bungie sells for the first season pass plus first 10 ranks also went up in price. And even better news, they'll be evaluating new approaches to post-launch content in the year of Final Shape, which is corporate code for another price increase to $15 next year. It all makes sense now. Why do you think Bungie added that $100 silver?
Oh, this is the best video ever, dude. Like, come on. It's so blatantly bad. And he has not even talked about the new player experience. Again, we watched a video on this. The new player experience is atrocious. It's like the worst thing in the universe.
Purchase option in Steam while simultaneously offering a new fully ranked season pass for $100.
Nice.
Seems awfully convenient that both these new features shipped at the same time. You know what else is strangely convenient? Deep sight activation. For those of you who are unaware, deep sight is used to grant patterns for crafted weapons in Destiny. Once you've earned 5 deep sights for a specific weapon, you can craft the perfect roll of said weapon. It is literally the loot in game of Destiny 2. Perfect weapons with perfect rolls that takes lots of time to get. Deep sight activation is the ability to apply deep sight to a weapon that didn't drop with the weapon initially. This new quality of life feature was teased earlier this year and was beyond exciting because this would have been a very useful avenue for new or returning players to earn old craftable weapons that no longer drop in the roll loot pool. Imagine our dismay when Bungie announced that the new deep sight harmonizer material that is used to apply deep sight is only available on the season pass. 3 from the free track and 3 from the pay track. 6 total per season. If you want to know the math behind that, if you're new to the game, earning every weapon that no longer drops with deep sight would take you 24 seasons to get them all. We haven't even had 24 seasons in Destiny's lifespan. Now there is no method to earn these materials in game.
Wait. That's actually incorrect because keep in mind, they're gonna remove things from the acquirable through gameplay list, and there's gonna be more things that you can now that you need to acquire that way. Nice.
All you can do is wait for Bungie to drip feed you with XP. Unless you don't have to wait. Let's say you want that God roll targeted redaction or that crafted Apex Predator right now. All you need to do is spend some silver. And just like that, you have enough deep sight to instantly craft any weapon you like. Sure, you have to get it to actually drop, but that's not a problem when you can focus all the seasonal weapons at the helm and farm last switch weapons for a few hours. Purchasing deep sight application allows you to completely bypass the craftable weapon loot grind for any crafted weapon you want. And you know what's crazy? Bungie pulled this exact same stunt with armor transmog. If you want to customize your armor, it was going to be limited and extremely complicated to earn. Oh, but also you could just buy it from the Everywhere store. Of course, people were angry, but Bungie was still always safe because at the end of the day, it was only cosmetic. It can't be pay to win. Deep sight application is anything but cosmetic. This new feature is now being weaponized by Bungie to implement pay-to-win mechanics into the season pass. Some of you may be thinking I'm overreacting. Let's listen to that data video just one more time.
A lot of people will now mention the slippery slope argument. Yes, Dado, we start with shaders, emblems, emotes, but who is to say that they won't introduce materials, armor, or weapons in the future? If we see legendary guns for sale, if we see legendary marks for sale.
Also, this is, by the way, the start. This is what companies do constantly. You know, they want to make the battle pass, the whatever you want to call it, into something that's paid to win and you must buy. But they're gonna do it slowly, you know? They're not gonna just, you know, like, drop it and there's like, hey, if you were free to play, then you get, like, 2 of these things, and you need three of these things to actually do anything. But if you're a paying customer, you get 100 of these things and you can make whatever you want. Yay, isn't that cool? They don't do that. No. They trickle it in. First, the free-to-play version is somewhat fair and useful, But the pay to play, pay to win version is obviously just a slight smidgen better, right? That's how they do it. And over the time, the free to play version stays the same roughly, but the pay to win version just kind of starts scaling slowly but certainly from 3 to 4 to 5 to 7 to 8 to 11 to 15 to 22 to 30 and so on and so on. And at some point, also you start to get slowly less in the free to play version. You know, that's how they get you. It's all the slippery slope is 100% real in every aspect of life.
I'm gonna be mad. If we see something like 100 motes of light for $5, I'm gonna be mad. I don't want to see power sold, I don't want to see shortcuts to power sold, nothing. And as long as Bungie does not cross the line of cosmetic items, I think we'll be fine. If Bungie does cross that line, you have my rage.
It doesn't matter if deep side harmonizers aren't directly purchasable from the Eververse store. It doesn't matter if in-game materials, XP bonuses, exotic ciphers, or progression boosts are contained within the vehicle we call the Season Pass, you can still purchase them. The lie Bungie tries to tell us is that these rewards are available to everyone. Therefore, purchasing it early is of no consequence. All of the deep side harmonizers are beyond rank 50 in the Season Pass. 99.9% of the player base will not reach those ranks for weeks, if not months. But if you have money, you can just access more loot, more rewards, more craftable godable weapons for little to no work. What if the Immortal had been craftable this season? Everyone would have lost their minds. Just imagine if you could essentially buy a perfect PvP weapon and terrorize the Crucible with it for weeks or months with little to no competition. All hell would have broken loose. This doomsday scenario is not only possible, but now it is incredibly likely. If this isn't pay to win, fellas, I don't know what is.
Oh boy. That was a good segment. Paying for other games.
An argument I want to kill in the egg before it gains any traction is that Bungie is charging more money because they are making better content / another game. Don't kid yourself, guys. We know that Bungie's team for Destiny has not dramatically increased in size since The Taken King. We also know that Bungie is making a boatload of more money than they did back in Destiny 1 because more players and microtransactions exist. Yes, I think the seasonal model is better for Destiny as a live service game. Yes, I believe that microtransactions have their place in Destiny. I'm not even paying extra for seasons. I buy the deluxe edition of the game every year that has zero effect on me. But I am sick and tired of the player base getting nickeled and dimed at every turn. The constant double dipping, the never-ending increases in prices, and confusion for new players. I don't even know why we're surprised. Bungie in their GDC 2022 panel celebrated their 3-step plan for Destiny. After winning back player trust and keeping player retention high, their main focus was once again revenue.
Player retention, by the way, is not the same as new player acquisition. Just keep that in mind, by the way. So yeah, it seems like I'm spot on the fact that the people who are currently playing Destiny are all die-hard fans. And almost no new blood is coming in.
Bungie's side bad when this controversy was blowing up. Because believe it or not, we like it when Bungie's profitable. That's not a bad thing. But the pursuit of more profits came with the promise that it would be built off that foundation of player trust. Newsflash, adding pay-to-win mechanics and lying to the community destroys player trust. I am not going to support a business model that employs these types of...
Well, to be fair, if they destroy this trust, it's not like you're going to quit the game. That's probably not happening. It is what it is.
Marketing strategies. I'm not going to pretend like this is some turning point for Destiny, a point of no return. This is not a crossroad. It's just another step along a very long road that's marching us closer and closer to microtransaction hell. As for Bungie's new game Marathon, why should I give a damn about Marathon? I'm not paying to play Marathon. I'm paying to play Destiny 2. And as a diverse player who plays PvP and PvE, I thought overall things were decent. But then I listened to a clip from Grenader Jake, who lives and breathes PvP, especially trials.
I think what Bungie touches usually turns to gold. Halo, Destiny, I bet you Marathon's gonna kill it. But do you want some real, honest feedback from me too? I think it's absolutely...
Wait, how old is this video? Because I don't think... I kind of have heard something about Marathon, but it wasn't good.
Absolutely up that Bungie would abandon this game's PvP essentially, which is what they've done. They've made us basically no new maps in like 4 years, yet continue to make us pay hundreds of dollars a year so they can go work on their next baby. It feels like complete bullshit, dude.
Nice.
I feel like Destiny players have the right, especially Destiny PvP players, to be pissed. We're still spending over $100 every year to play this game. They literally...
As a consumer, you have the right to be pissed at literally any moment for absolutely anything. Do not listen to those absolute lifeless losers in Reddit or whatever type of forum or whatever who are saying, oh, you should be happy about the game because other companies... I don't care about other companies. I care that the game that I'm currently playing is good, and this company is obviously not doing shit. Oh, why can't you do some constructive criticism then? Tell them how to Bruh, first of all, they're never gonna listen because that's human nature. They're not gonna admit that they're incompetent at their work. They're not gonna listen to what you tell them that they should do. That's number one. Number two, I'm not the developer. I'm the consumer. I'm the player. I don't need to tell them how to fix it. I just need to yell at them that I don't like something and they should start fixing it. You should always complain about absolutely anything, anywhere that you can as a consumer. Doesn't matter. The game, this video, whatever you feel like, just complain about it.
abandoned us. And I feel like that's really frustrating.
And this really put things into perspective. Bungie abandoned Destiny 2 PvP for their new PvP game. Not only that, but Marathon is also getting all the bells and whistles Destiny players have been asking for a very long time. Dedicated servers, leaderboards, new maps. Only after complaining year after year, buying new expansions and seasons year after year, are PvP players finally getting some attention. More than anything else, it's just sad that this much money has been spent by this many people, and what content do they have to show for it? Almost nothing. Bungie made a promise to make the game better for all players, not just PvE players, all players. Sadly, this isn't the first time Destiny players have been abandoned before. I know a lot of you have never played or don't care about Destiny 1 these days, but 7 years ago, before Silver even existed, the Taken King Collector's Edition was sold, and it included some custom emotes and class items. Back then, these were some of the best looking armor pieces and emotes in the game. Several of our editors were young teens at the time, and being Destiny fans, they bought the Collector's Edition. Revisiting those accounts years later, practicing for the Destiny 2 King's Fall raid race, gathering footage for videos and so on, they notice they can't equip their custom Taken King items anymore. Items that they own, items that they paid for, items that Bungie would happily charge them $20 to repurchase years later are sitting in their inventory, and they can't use them. They aren't the only ones either. Forum posts dating several years back also complained about this exact issue. Bungie hasn't fixed it. Why would they? Repurchasing old content isn't new grounds for Bungie, and paying for content just for it to be unplayable
That's, by the way, completely blatantly insane if you think about it.
years later isn't a novel concept for them. Bungie doesn't care about their old game. Bungie only cares about their new game, the one that will make them more money, the one that gets the $3.6 billion deals, the one they can use as a vehicle to be as profitable as possible, pay to win or otherwise.
Makes
That's everything.
sense.
That's all I got, guys. This isn't a
it?
Bungie strike. This isn't me disowning Destiny for the rest of my life. Frankly, that will accomplish nothing. As a wise man once said, every gaming boycott is one 3-minute cinematic from being over. The final shape, Destiny's climax, is on the horizon. Microtransactions will not kill Destiny. Destiny is not on the verge of collapse. It's in fact the opposite. Destiny is making more money than ever before. It has
Wait,
more players than
what is this? Peak players. Wow. Wait, they're not actually dude, they're actually doing pretty good, I would have to say. What's the deal here though with these numbers? Kind of sad. Well, admittedly they lost a lot. Also, how are these gains calculated? Average players, peak players. Oh, it's the average players. I'm looking at peak players. Wait.